Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chasing Psychological Safety. No Fionn today, and for those of you that have seen me speak all by myself before, then you're going to be aware it's probably going to be rant here and a little bit more rambling because Fionn is thankfully that force that keeps me grounded and allows me to collect my thoughts and ideally present them to you guys in a better fashion. That said, we need to talk about a couple of things, in my opinion. One of them was the object of yesterday's article. I was quite up in arms then as well. And that's because here we are at a place where we believe we have moved mountains when it comes to the workplace and where we think everything has changed for knowledge workers at least. And the POC of working from home has been proven and everything's going to be very much different from here on. And instead, what cropped up on TikTok and other media channels the other week was a hashtag of emotional support water bottles. I could just leave it there because those of you listening to this would have already rolled your eyes at it or would have already worked out how immensely absurd it is or how kind of insulting really it is to be even talking about that when we have so much bigger topics to get better at, discuss and make habits. And instead we allow something as ridiculous as hydration to be an expression of self-care. So I think that's a really good symptom of how far along we are down the really bad and bankrupt topic of human debt. I think if we didn't have this human debt, we wouldn't be dreaming to think that water bottles can be a certain type of emotional support or that whether or not we're hydrated is an act of self-care. So to me, that illustrates the contrast between where we should be and where we are these days still, unfortunately, and despite all of this discussion around human topics and around the human work. So it's disheartening. There's a lot to be done. But it isn't untrue that there's a kernel of at least the topic of self-care is no longer taboo in the workplace. I suppose that's the only true positive we can even grab out of this. And it's a humongous difference between today and a few years ago when the idea of taking care of yourself was preposterous in the workplace. It was not what you were expected to do. It was not what was approved and what was seen as determined, hardworking, and professional. So that has all changed. We have to be grateful for it. And that means that we have a lot more space to define it. But it also equally means that we have a serious responsibility to not let it stop at water bottles and take on the space we have to take and claim our stake to respect, claim our stake to more time, to resources, to support, to coaching, to protected personal time, to whatever it is that we need. Claim our need to have individual ways of creating that self-care. For some of us, I mean, obviously there should be elements of diet, exercise, and sleep in all of them, but then the elements of mindfulness would be very different for everyone. Not everyone responds to the same techniques. Not everyone is able to do meditation. Not everyone is able to do breathing. Not everyone is good at doing gratitude. All of them useful, but not all of them landing quite as well for everybody. So obviously, the only responsible path for any employee is to land on that set of practices and exercises that are A, effective for them, and or B, sustainable. And again, not an easy ask. And it's the type of thing that takes forever to actually land on, takes a lot of practice, experimentation. Any responsible adult that's done some of the mindfulness work knows it's an investment. It's one we're not willing and ready to do with this. So there will be plenty of team level and individual level resistance towards the self-care part of the human work. We've always said the human work contains the individual human work and the team level human work. And while we can help and do help with the team level human work, come talk to us about the dashboard. There's not very much we can do in terms of self-care other than to reaffirm that it is part of the human work and the enterprise should be paying us for us consistently investing in taking care of ourselves. At the end of the day, if we believe that people should be taken care of, having them take care of themselves is something we should reward, because it outsources and fragments some of this big block of work. So undoubtedly, self-care is an important topic. Undoubtedly, people should have personal responsibility in dealing with it. That does not constitute all of the human work, and it does not mean that everyone's going to be easily and with gusto applying themselves to it. We will still have plenty of resistance. But what is really, I think, important is that we don't let ourselves fall into the trap of thinking we are doing enough, or there's enough chat, or there are enough posters, or there's enough lip service about self-care, that if push came to shove and you'd need a sick day, you could take it. That isn't self-care. Self-care is a consistent investment in the practices that make you feel better. Those, again, can be physical or they can be emotional, and doing the things that need to be done from an emotional perspective to have yourself in a better shape, just as much as doing the things that need to be done from an emotional point of view to have your team in a better shape, is equally important, should be rewarded, and should become the practice for all of us. So best of luck not falling for an emotional support water bottle as being good enough. And we will talk to you next week. Bye.